Hi Capricorn, this is Heather, the medium on a mission, and I'm bringing you your October forecast. So this will be for Capricorn sun, moon, and rising signs. And so I'll just speak a little bit about, before I do all the readings, I go into a little bit of a meditation and ask Spirit for information. And so this will be part of your reading. I'm not I'm probably different than most readers where I'll give you some channeled information at the beginning and then I'll jump into the cards. And so the the information I give it at the beginning is more from Spirit. They might come in the middle and give some information there as well, but I always just get a quick download before I start the readings, and I just usually like to give that information. It usually correlates quite nicely with the cards that are pulled for the reading as well. So it just, to me, it adds a layer of validation to the reading that you're getting. So I'll kind of explain a little bit about what I was getting, but before I do that, I'll explain my process here. So a couple things. We've got the fall equinox or spring equinox coming forward, or that just occurred, depending on where you're at. So that's there. There's shift with the harvest and all of those things, and those kind of the energies are shifting there. There's a lot of energy shifts lately. So if you're not feeling it, tap in a little bit, because it's definitely there. So we've got the full moon in Aries on October 13th. We just had the full moon in Pisces on the 14th. And so there's a lot of these sort of, you've got Pisces, that's a water, Aries, that's fire. There's a lot of these merging of energies that are coming together, and it feels, it's positive, but some people can feel a little off kilter with it. So I remain by what I've been saying about October, November energies being pretty intense in terms of shifting and positive. Now, depending, if you're someone who doesn't like change, you're probably not liking life right now. If you're someone who does like change, you are probably kind of, it's like that super excited, right? It's kind of like that anti-climax, or how do I say that? It would be very more of just kind of the exciting moment that's coming in for you. Like, I cannot wait, like a kid at Christmas time that's ready for his gift. So depending on where you're at in that, with Capricorn, sometimes it's the need to have control over a situation. So sometimes that can be hard for you. So again, not for everyone, but just generally speaking, that's kind of the tone of the signs. I'm not an astrologer. I don't profess to be. I'm learning as I go. Spirit's teaching me a lot about that. I'm learning so much more through doing these readings than anything. But I do read very differently. So what I'll do is give you the channeled information and let the cards come out, but I'm going to read more of the energy that I feel from them, not necessarily the signs, but whatever resonates for you, take it. The way that I'll do them is I will do the body, mind, and spirit, so kind of the 3-card spread there. But then it'll also be, for some of you, it'll be past, present, and future. So depending on, whatever seems to resonate for you, take it that way. You'll know which one it should be for you. And so that's kind of the way that I'm going to do things. And then I will be using so I've got a few decks I'm going to be using. I'm using quite a bit more than I've used in the past. I just felt called to do that. Energy Oracle cards by Sandra Ann Taylor. I'll be using those ones as the first card in the series. The Good Tarot by Colette Baron Reed is the second card in the series. And then I'll be using my own deck, the When Spirit Speaks cards, and that'll be the third card in the series. And then I'll also be using the Halloween Tarot, so those kind of a fun little, to go with a theme for this month. So I get super geeked out about Halloween time because, we can talk about spirits and it's not taboo, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going with it this month. And we've got the Affirmators cards, so I like them. They've got a cute little unicorn. I've been seeing some unicorns. It's kind of Spirit's way of saying, just have fun, lighten up. Life doesn't have to be so serious. So that's what I'm going to be using this month. And so in terms of your channel message, I'm going to speak to that before I get in. In the past, I've been shuffling, and I know that's been a bit of distraction for some people when I'm shuffling as I am communicating the message. So I'll do that. I'll do some kind of just light shuffling here, but not go too deep into that. But I'll explain what I'm getting from Spirit. So one of the first things I received from Spirit is I asked for a kind of a word for all key. What's the key word for the month for each sign when I'm doing the readings, and it'll kind of clue me into what's coming and what the energy vibration is. And I was getting an energy of like a maverick. And it's funny because it's almost like they were giving me a different word, but when I speak to spirit, it's in energy form, and so they don't always come out with clear audience and give me a clear word. Sometimes it's energy vibration, but I was getting almost this feeling of a little bit of maverick energy, like a rebellion, but in a fun way. So again, that's kind of like that, just that feeling of doing it your way and doing it in a way that's you're okay with and the world has to be okay with. So that's what I'm getting on that. I do have an energy of a female that's coming forward. There's a couple energy vibrations that are impressing upon me. There might the name Dorothy or Cindy might be significant to some of you as well, or there might be some female starting with a B name as well. So I'm getting that. I don't feel it's definitely a feminine energy, but I have to tell you, it's a feminine that is very masculine. So she's coming forward very much. Very strong personality, but then I also get two sides to her. She has her kind of face that she shows to the world. She's got that strength and she doesn't give a damn what anyone else says. But then she's also got that side that's like, but if I be this person, is that going to cause any problems? Am I going to be judged unfairly? Or it's almost like this sort of person that goes out and says a bunch of harsh words to someone or just speaks their truth and then feels bad about it. So that's what I'm getting. So it doesn't necessarily, it didn't have to be someone who speaks it in a way that's like hurtful, but sometimes when we stand up and we speak our truth, we feel bad about it. And so that's kind of the energy of that's coming forward. I feel like they're coming forward to represent circumstances or energies that are coming forward, but for whatever reason, they're stepping forward as well. And I feel like this lady there may have been smoking involved as well. She may have smoked. She may have even had a raspy voice, because I feel like even at the beginning it's like like, and I'm trying to clear my voice because I'm aware of her being like, I'm aware of her being in that energy where it was sometimes literally hard for her to talk because of her smoking. So that's what I'm getting on there. So with that, let's go ahead and jump into the readings and we'll see what Spirit has to say. Bring up this month. It sounds like you've got a little bit of a maverick energy that's going on, and there's nothing wrong with that. But let's see what Spirit has to say about that. So let's see. Spirit, what messages do you have for Capricorn for the month of October? What messages do you have to give them at this time? Alright, Spirit, what messages from the physical body? What are some of the physical 3D experiences that they're going through at this time that you can help them to understand? They tell me to keep going. Alright, I'm taking this one here. Oh, wow. Okay, yeah. So this is, I can't remember what other sign got this, but it was quite amazing. I think it was Taurus or Libra. I think it was Taurus. Anyway, so you might have a connection there as well. So I would go back and check those signs. It's the sign that got the divinely guided message. So actually, I think maybe that was Gemini. It was Gemini, because I know Gemini Spirit was pushing me to do theirs first. And so, okay, so this is when he came in on the last, so this is obviously the card of Jesus Christ here. So he's got sort of his hand opened up. He's the healer. He's the master healer of all things, and really just stepping forward to help come into this message and guide this message. So I'm gonna pull the other two cards right now, because I feel like this is what Spirit's guiding me to do right now, because it's sort of, yeah, there's much more to this. Let me keep going here. Wow, this is going to be a good one. I knew I felt the energy up front. Like, this is, I keep hearing you're not, what is that? How does that go? You're not in this world, you're of this world. And so there's something really important for you to understand, that you're about the human experience and the human journey, that this is happening. Okay, thank you. They're saying it's happening for you, not to you. And so there's something that's important for you to, as I say it, my heart is warming, and I can see the fire coming out of his chest here. And that's exactly what I'm feeling right now. It's an intense kind of fiery energy that you, like, Spirit really wanted you to hear that you really needed to hear that this is happening for you, not to you. So I'm going to keep going here. I feel like, forgive me in advance if I go off. I feel like Spirit's energy is coming in really strong, and they're just going to sort of take the wheel in a moment, and may go on a little bit of a tangent. Some people really like the cards and they don't want to hear the channeled, so feel free to pass it on by. But I honor Spirit first and foremost, and I trust their guidance more than anything. So if they have anything to drop in, I'm going to give it to you. So, all right. Oh, I just got a bunch of chills. They just acknowledged me on that one. So thank you, Spirit. I hear you. I hear you loud and clear. Oops. Okay. So these two popped out, and I'm keeping them. And let's see. Page of Fire and 8 of Wands. Oh, wow. Whew. Okay. So this is crazy here. So this intensity of this energy, and you can see the fire here and the fire coming from his heart. And I was just talking about the fire. This is this feeling of you're sort of this sun that she's got the tiger down here. Wow. Oh, okay. So what I'm getting on this energy is this feeling of, again, there's an intensity with this reading because it's this feeling of you're sort of lighting the fires, right? You're moving forward. You are pushing past these barriers, but you're doing it in a way that sometimes when you sort of bring out the fire, it can be intense, and people can either get burned by it or it can warm them. And so it's their decision on how they choose to react to the fire that you're bringing forth. But just know that I feel like some of you are in a space where you've been sort of, I keep seeing that, just like, I just see an intensity of the fire and burning things out of your life that no longer serve you. Some of those comes in the form of relationships, life's experiences, burdens. I feel like some of you have had heavy weight. As I'm saying that, I feel the energy of a father, of the feeling of you know what, I can't do this anymore with him. This isn't working for me. We have this, there's been a battlefield as it relates, you're talking past each other, and the feeling of walking away from that and doing it in a way that it's like, I'm not sorry anymore. I can't feed into that relationship and play that role that you're expecting of me. But with that being said, this came in, this energy was popping in for me because it's the feeling of fire and water. Excuse me. There's these cancel each other out, right? So if you bring that fire, the other person kind of comes with the water. And so it sort of pushes out the situation. It puts the fire out. But what I'll say is that Spirit is telling me that it feels like some of you are in that situation where you're sort of having to walk away from something that no longer serves you and reject what has been kind of put into your energy space. But I will tell you, Spirit's also saying is have some grace to the situation with yourself and with others. So let the situation sort of honor your heart and your guidance and where you're going, but also know that you're being guided with the situation. There's something significant to the, again, the coins down here, seeing the coins, and it's sort of going towards your own mastery and your own abundance, and these ships that are sort of moving out, or they could be coming in. So either way, but it's one of these things where is your ship sort of coming in and you're approaching it from a new perspective, and as a result, you're taking your sort of gold and going away from the situation that's no longer serving and the energies of that? Or is it a situation where you've sort of said goodbye to this sort of energy that's no longer serving you and it's moving away, and as a result, you're standing here with the abundance? So either way, I feel like it's really sort of bringing into the energy of what you're going through at this time. But again, I'm being pulled back to this healer card because I feel like this is not just for your healing, it's for the greater good and the consciousness of others. Sometimes when you walk away from a situation or another individual, you teach them. Just by you sort of staying in that space of your own power and walking away from what no longer serves you, that person is left to sort of process what only thing they have to left to process is sort of their role in the situation. And as a result of that, by sometimes walking away from that, you might be teaching others how to act better, right? To be in that space of being able to take back their own power, where it helps them do kind of a little bit of a review. Where in their life did they decide to act a certain way or be a certain way, and then things sort of get rejected in their space. So I feel like for you, that's really what's going on in terms of the physical presence of what's occurring in your life at this time. So let's keep going and see what's on the mind for you for this month, Capricorn. Let's see what's on your mind. So that's what's kind of going on in your physical area, or what's been. Okay, that one came out, so I'm going to take it. Happy family. Wow, that's beautiful. Card 4. And that's card 6, and we've got 4 here, and happy family. So there's something, this feels very much about, there's something about when you sort of walk away from what no longer serves you, and you go into that space and you speak your truth. Some of you might even have this situation with a mother-in-law where you're like, look, not happening anymore. This is my life. This is what I'm doing. So I feel like that as well. Some of you may be leaving a situation. It could be a place of residence. It could be a job or something like that, to where you're moving away from it. But it's the acknowledgement of this happy life. But I feel like that's what's on your mind right now. You're doing this. You're blazing this trail because you're like, look, this is what I want for my life going forward. This is what I desire. This is what I seek. And I'm not willing to accept anything less than that. So be it. Divinely guided. It's happening. It's happening now. And so that's what I'm getting on that. So let's keep going here and see what Spirit has to say. Else they have. Let that Spirit, oh, sorry about that, kind of dropped a few there. I'm not going to take those. I was just having a little bit of a, let's see here. Okay. All right, call. Okay. And this is card 20, which is 2. So you've got 4 and 2. And so what I'm seeing with this card is, anytime I see 2s or anything, this is really around partnerships and family and just sort of that thing. And here you've got the card 4, and then now you've got the card 2. And really what I'm getting with this is about you. It's saying, look, I've got to do this. I've got to learn to dance on my own. I've got to really learn to step into the space and claim my power back and claim my life, so that I can really kind of set in motion these things that I want for my future. I really want to go in a new direction. And some of you may be in the space where this is where you're at now. This is what's happening. This is where, so you might be thinking about it, or you might say, this is what is in my space. This is my power, so be it. So that's what I'm getting on that. And I feel like some of you too, it's about calling on that higher guidance and seeking out that support through prayers or meditation or whatever you do in which to connect. Spirit's kind of the call for that as well. So let's see here. Okay, third eye, truth seeker. Yes. Okay, perfect. And so that's chakra 6, obviously. And we've got the 6 here. We've got the 6 here. And so I feel like for you guys right now, wow, and that's kind of fascinating. I'm just realizing that I'm getting that like message from Spirit. 6, and then you've got the card 4, 5, 6, and then you've got another 6 here. So this is quite amazing to me in terms of the connections that are coming forward of this message here as well. So what I'm getting around this one here is basically just kind of the same thing. Your energy, you're in that space where you're no longer accepting of these things that no longer serve your truth. You're moving away from these things. You're burning the bridge. You're not looking back. You're seeking this new happiness in life, and whatever that looks like for you, whatever blessings you have in front of you, that's where you're going to. That's where your destination, that's your North Star right now. And you're saying, I've got to do this for myself. I've got to make this happen. This is no longer serving me. I'm moving away from it. So Let's see what general spirit messages have for you this month. I just got chills on that, so somebody really needed to hear that, and so I'm thankful to be able to give that message to someone. All right, Spirit, what messages do you have for Capricorn from a spiritual perspective? What guidance, what love support, what kind of support are you here to represent at this time? Okay. All right. Action, absolutely. 8. You've got the 8 here. What's exactly what that was? I knew I was looking at that card and I was like, how is that going to integrate back into these 6s? We'll see. And then you've got 17, which is 8. Action. You're moving forward. Exactly what that is right here. That ship. You've got your goal. You're moving forward. So it's time. Spirit's acknowledging this. This is happening for you. And so now's the time for the action. If you're not already in that space of if you're sitting back wondering, there's your sign. So now you know. So let's keep going here. All right. And I keep feeling the energy of sort of this female energy and this feeling of do it differently than I did it. Do it differently than I did it. That's what I keep hearing. It's like my intentions were good, but I did it in a way that was more destructive, and you can achieve the same objective without being so destructive. And so again, this feeling, there's this balance here, the fire and water, finding the balance between the two without the layer of destruction. I'm not sure what this means. I'm not sure if they met like the circumstance, there's something around their passing and the way that things went down, the relationships that sort of fell apart in their life because of their sort of sharp tongue or maybe lack thereof sometimes, where they didn't speak it up in the right way. I feel like there was a lot of misunderstandings with this individual. And so I just feel like they're representing, please, do it in a different way. So 10 of fire. Oh, okay. So we've got more fire cards here. And so immediately what I got was exactly what I was just saying. Look, you can speak your truth and it's time for action here, but you need to do it in a way that is serving of the greater. And so look at, it's like this, it's completed, right? And she's looking at these, she's taking the fire and she's holding it within her hands. I'm also being drawn to like the blue of the water and the balance of the two. So it's almost like she's holding the fire, but she's doing it in a way that, again, it could either burn you or it can make you warm. And so, and provide that warmth too. And she's doing it in a way that is not so intense and burning anything behind her. So, or anyone around her. So she's learning to work with the fire energies of what's in front of her. So that's amazing. You've got, so this keeps, let me just see here. Let me kind of put some, okay, so you've got, I'm just looking, fire. You've got, so you guys are, you being an earth sign, and you've got a lot of fire in your cards as well. You've got some water, but mostly the fire. And so there's something about this fire energy too that I feel like is really strong for you. This might be involving a fire sign. There might be some fire energy that's popping forward where you have to have that conversation, or maybe you've had that conversation already. And so let's see what else Spirit has to say. What other messages do you have for Capricorn October regarding this circumstance and these situations that they're faced with this at this time? Okay, grounding. So again, that's kind of like a fire energy. Wow. I get this so strong for you guys. This feeling of, again, learning to play with that fire and that energy, but doing it in a way that's non-destructive. And so my heart's warming right now. So this is the first chakra. And this is all about, the fire energy, the grounding. But again, this goes all within that. It's that red, that intensity of the fire, but doing in a way that serves you. That if you're not, so again, thinking about fire, if you're not, in the root chakra, if you're not grounded in your energies, then you're all over the place. If you've ever, you can meet, especially if you deal with anyone who communes with spirit, or if you just meet someone out on anywhere, you can tell the people that aren't grounded. They're just all over the place. It's like, calm the F down. Those are the people that are not grounded. There's some people that are, I've only actually met a couple people that are too grounded to where they just can't come up in their energies, and in the sense of they probably will never be able to really commune with spirit, even though we all have a natural innate ability to do that, this would be unheard of for them. Because they're too grounded, they're too logical, and it's not happening, and that's not the way you're supposed to do it from their perspective. So again, there's a balance, no different than fire, no different than grounding. The chakras, they have to be in alignment, and that's where people say, like, it's not about, like, it's about alignment. That's all. There's no other way to say it. And so I feel like for you, this is really Spirit saying, you know, this is so important for you to get into that space of grounding and alignment with your energies, so that you can move forward with this next kind of phase that's coming forward for you. So it feels really good for your energy at this time. So let's pull a Halloween card and see what messages are there. So this will provide kind of a general theme for the month and just sort of wrap up what we've got from this message from Spirit this month. I'm just loving all the readings, and yours is no exception to that. They're all just so beautiful, and oh, I love it. Yeah, definitely. I'm also getting the number 333 for someone. There's a connection with 3, but I'm also seeing a 4, so I'm not sure what that is, but I'm getting 3. Well, I guess that, you know, you've got, no, I'm not sure where that's coming from, but I'm getting 3s and 4s. So some of you might be seeing 3s, some of you might be seeing 4s as well. Okay, that one just popped out, so I'm taking it. And what do we have there? The 4 of Ghosts. Okay, so let's see what Spirit has to say. So the ghosts are the water signs. I believe I've got my little, I've got my quick reference guide there. So the 4 are it's the water signs, and as I just sort of tune in again, this goes back to here. You've got the happy family. This is what this is about. Whatever you're doing it because you're in the space where you're no longer happy with the outside influences. It's not working for you. You're sitting back like, look, they're offering you, hey, you want to come, you know, all of these things and all of these sort of temptations or things around you, but you're like, you're just over it. You're like, you know what? I'm moving away from these energies that no longer serve me, and I'm moving towards this happy family, these blessings that are coming into my life. It's time to take action. And so that's really what Spirit's saying. They're just validating all of this. It's time. Now's the time. Get grounded, because it's about to get a bumpy ride in a good way, in a positive way. So again, if you heard any of the energy mentions that I've brought up on the other, I don't think I did it too much on this intro, but a lot of like Sagittarius. It's been about 12 minutes talking about energies, quite frankly, because they're so intense, and I felt like it was relevant. So that to me speaks to really what the energies that are coming into your space for this month. But you guys, it feels like there might be some sort of significant impact to you guys on as it relates to that. So let me pull a final. Oh, I love it when I give a message like that and Spirit gives me a chill. So that was just all about them speaking them right there. That was them. That was not my filter. That was Spirit. So I'm just going to let you know that, because anytime they give, sometimes I do go on my own tangent, but a lot of times Spirit will step in and just give a message, and it's really strong. So, all right, let's see. Gratitude. All right, perfect. Today I'm grateful for all the little things, even when the big things suck. There are always plenty of little things I can be at least a little grateful for, like hot showers and music, and the fact that humans invented the internet, and I'm allowed to use it whenever I want, using fingers and thumbs to do whatever I think them to do at any moment. That's awesome. Okay, so that to me is just really saying that, you know, for me personally, whenever I think gratitude, I automatically go happy family. So this doesn't have to be a romantic relationship. It could be your family, where you have friends that are very significant to you, and it's you know, Thanksgiving, you get together with your family, your friends that are like your family, the family that you would have chosen in the human experience versus on the other side for the lessons, right? And so that's what I'm getting on this. And so I always put those two together, and I'm getting this feeling, the gratitude and happy. There's something about November too that's significant for you as well. So because I just said Thanksgiving, I'm getting pulled into November right now for your energy. And so really you might start going through this process for October, and then November you might be like, yep. And so you might get to the point where you want to come back to this reading in November and just sort of validate your experiences that you've had. So I feel like it's going to be an amazing month for you, Capricorn. I feel like all the signs, my intent is always to provide healing messages and helpful messages, and we all go through stuff as part of the human experience, but if you come here for any, any reading and feel positive about these changes and know that it's for your highest and greatest good, then I feel like it's really serving the purpose of what I intend for this channel. So I do hope that that was your experience here, and if not, then regardless, I wish you all the many blessings for the month of October and beyond, and namaste.